Hey Sagittarius, welcome to Aria Moon Tarot, and thank you so much for being here. This is your love reading for anyone with Sun, Moon, or Rising in Sagittarius. It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If it doesn't, check your other placements. All right, let's get started. So we have the letter P. This can be first or last name, or just letters that are significant to your connection in some way. A C, PC. Your person might be a gamer. They might be really into computers or study computer science or something. We have the letter 5, pardon me, you guys. We have the number 5. That could be a birth date. Maybe they're born on the 5th. Maybe you met them on the 5th of the month, or you will meet them on the 5th of the month. We have January 5th. At the time that I'm recording this is a timeless reading, but at the time that I'm recording this, it is January right now, January 2022. So this could be somebody that you met earlier this same month. We have a W, or this could be an M. So take it as it resonates. First or last name, place you met, state you live in. We have an E. These two actually came out in the last reading. That's just really interesting, you guys. I'm gonna reserve the message that I had for it for the last reading, but we'll see. We'll see if that applies to you as well. We have Q. I'm pretty sure Q has showed up in every reading, which is funny because, I mean, that's not, a lot of people's names don't start with a Q. So there might be something else there. It might be an indication of something else. We have February. That's another one that has showed up. I think January and February showed up in the last one. I think February might have showed up in all 3. So, really interesting because we're headed into February and Valentine's Day and stuff. I'm wondering now that I'm seeing that show up in every reading if a lot of you are going to be meeting somebody special or have your relationship progress in some kind of special way during the month of February. We also have September. I do think that showed up in another reading too. We have the number 1. So these can be dates. It can be like February 1st, September 1st, January 1st, March 1st. These can be birth dates, or these can be months when you meet this person or when you met them. We have the letter M. So we had that W that could have been an M. Now we have the M too. So M and W, very significant here. We have the letter R, the letter H, lots of initials, okay? We have Leo and Scorpio energy here. So your person may be a Leo or a Scorpio. You may be a Leo or a Scorpio. You may meet this person in Leo or Scorpio season, or that could be just a time that's very significant to you. We have V. So, yeah, we got P and V, which sometimes these letters are interpreted like in a more sexual way. So this could be somebody who is very sexual, or someone that you've been sexually intimate with, or that you'd like to be. That's just one way to look at them. It doesn't have to be that kind of connection. This might not be a romantic connection that you're asking about, but in case it was, I think there is a strong indication that there's some sexual energy there. Leo energy, very fiery, so maybe. We have brown hair. So this person may have brown hair. You may have brown hair. There might be something significant about this person's hair. I am seeing kind of long, flowy hair. These, all these physical attribute little cards have been making me think about more than what they say today. So I am seeing kind of long hair, or that someone is very drawn to someone's hair. We are talking about who's coming into your life. So there could be some significance with hair, like somebody who grew their hair out and it catches your attention now because they look different, or they cut their hair short, or they maybe they're a barber or a hairdresser, or you meet them in a setting like that. So there could be more than just that person's hair color. So let's now figure out some more about this person's personality, who they are, and what's important to them. So we're just going to see what kind of attributes come out. We may even get some physical features. If something jumps out at me, I will let you know, because we might get more in terms of what this person looks like. through these cards. The Devil. Really interesting. I was pointing out those letters and the potential of a really strong sexual connection between you and this person. And then the Devil card comes out, which really speaks to a strong sexual connection. So this might be somebody that you feel extremely physically drawn toward. It might be somebody that you have been physically intimate with. The Four of Inspirations came out. I think that this card, in one form or another, this is Four of Wands energy, has shown up in every one of the readings so far. So that is just, that is very interesting. Let's see. We have the Sun. Oh, the Lovers. For a lot of you, I am picking up on the fact that this could be a past relationship. With this Eight of Emotions energy here, it's Eight of Cups energy, the feeling of somebody walked away from something. So this might be a feeling of rekindling an old romance, somebody that you have been intimate with before. It doesn't have to be, because I'm really trying to figure out about your person's attributes. So this could be somebody who walked away from a very significant connection in the past. This might be somebody who, when you first meet them, they're just wrapping up a relationship. Okay, we got too many cards. I'll take these two because they fell out face up. And let's leave them together. Let's take them together. So those two came out together. Okay, let's look at this and see who this person might be. Bottom of the deck energy, the Fool. So this person, they might be really wanting to start something new with you. They might bring an energy of newness to this connection and be willing to kind of like step out on a limb with you. So this might be somebody you know as being very adventurous. With this Eight of Emotions energy, I am seeing that they are somebody who like maybe had to walk away from something in the past, and it could have been really difficult and really hurtful to them. So I love that Fool energy. We were kind of talking about this in group one. The Fool card was out on the table, but we're kind of talking about this. It's like an energy of newness and of adventure and of willingness to start over. So I think this person really demonstrates a willingness to start over with you. They may have been through something. So with this Devil energy here, this is someone who is very sexual. If you are looking for a sexual relationship, then you'll be glad to hear that. If you're not a sexual person, then just kind of disregard this part of it. This can also talk about somebody who maybe has been through a lot of things. They may have been through hurtful or very codependent relationships in the past. So it can also speak to that. It can speak to somebody who is kind of overcoming their demons. Somebody who may have addictive tendencies or was extremely attached to somebody in the past. And with this Eight of Emotions, that might have been a connection that they had to walk away from. For many of you, I am seeing that this is a past relationship. So this is somebody that you may have been intimate with before, maybe physically, maybe emotionally intimate, but something ended. So in some cases, this might be a case of who's coming back into your life, because this could be somebody returning. Either way, I think there's a lot of passion between the two of you. I am seeing the Four of Inspirations here, the Seven of Inspiration, the Ace of Inspiration. There's a lot of passion here. There's a lot of fire energy here. Your person might be a fire sign. They might be an Aries, Leo, Sag. You may be an Aries, Leo, Sag, or have important placements in those signs. Also with the Sun card, lots of fiery energy here. So this again, it's an indication of maybe a fire sign, but most of all, just a really passionate connection between the two of you. And I think this is a very passionate person. So this is somebody who they're kind of all about what they do. So you may know them by the work that they do. They might be very passionate about what they do. They might be an artist of some sort. I'm kind of picking up on musician vibes. So this might be somebody who plays an instrument, sings, raps, something that they're really into. They're very passionate about it. They kind of like live and breathe this thing. So that might be a way that you kind of recognize this person. I am also picking up on, this is somebody who, they're not afraid of commitment, and they do come across as very stable. I'm thinking too that you might, it's funny because this Four of Wands energy, like I said, has come out in every reading, but for some reason in this reading, I'm picking up on more of this like a party or a social setting kind of vibe. So I think you might be meeting this person through friends or at a social event. There might be a celebration that you'll be attending soon, or that you recently attended and you met somebody there. I am picking up on that sense of community, that sense of like celebration or of a party. So that may have been how this person entered your life or will enter your life. I think this is also somebody that comes across as pretty lucky in a way. I think they're very successful and they're very positive. So at least from the outside, this person looks like somebody who really has it all together. They look like they're very pleased with what they've created in their life. It kind of seems like things tend to go their way. And I think that's an energy they're going to bring to you and bring to this connection, is like this feeling of accomplishment and this feeling of a little bit of ease. But I feel like they do a lot in their life. I feel like they really achieve and they accomplish, and they've got their hand in a lot of different pots. They're busy, and like they have a way of balancing it all and of maintaining a really positive outlook, even though they have so much going on. This person is definitely a romantic, so I think you'll know that when you meet them, they will make romantic gestures toward you. This Lovers card just tells me that they are a true lover at heart. And then as I glance over these cards, I'm seeing like these rose images popping out. So this is somebody that might bring you flowers, and like they're the type of person that does little things to let you know how much they care about you. They're definitely more of like a gift-giving type of love language. They will show you that they care by doing little special things for you. It doesn't have to be big, expensive gifts, but they definitely will, they'll bring things to you. They'll let you know that they were thinking of you during the time that you were apart. There is an independence to this person too. And that might be something that you value. You might be very independent too. I get the feeling that this is somebody who very well could be single. Like they're comfortable being single. I think they keep themselves busy and they keep themselves productive. And they're fine with it. But there's something about your connection that kind of changes that for them. So yeah, I don't really get the feeling that there's like a huge amount of desire for them to necessarily be in a connection. It feels like they kind of like have their life figured out, and like they're having a lot of fun producing whatever it is that they produce, being creative, exploring like their inspiration and hanging out with their friends, and like there's this feeling of that. But then there's also like, I think when this important thing shows itself, when this connection presents itself, they don't hesitate to jump in. But they definitely have a lot going on. They have a lot going for them in general. With this Seven of Inspiration, this is sort of just giving me that it's like like I was just saying, they're totally fine being by themselves. They're not overly dependent. So this Devil energy, if that is about dependence, I feel like it may have been for them a past relationship, maybe a relationship where they felt that their partner was too dependent on them. So that might make them a little bit hesitant to enter a relationship. But it's like, I don't get the feeling that they are somebody who's very dependent on others in general. I think that they kind of have their ducks in a row, and they have a lot that fills their time, which to me kind of makes this connection more special, because I'm seeing that they carve out space for you in their life, and that with this Two of Materials, that they really look to find balance and find a way to integrate you into their life. They look to kind of clear their schedule a little bit, because I think when you meet this person, they're quite busy. They're busy with work, or with pursuing their passions and their creativity. They might be in school. They might work and be in school. They might have a lot of travel associated with their work. So there is this feeling of them needing to make space for you, but it feels like they do that willingly. So like they're giving up something here. They're giving up a little bit of their independence, and I feel like that's something that this person really highly values. But they also value this connection enough to know when to like create space for it. At the end, we had this Ace of Inspiration and the Star come out together. So the Star is always just a really hopeful card. I think that this person is somebody that sees the potential in this connection. They see how far this could go. Aces are always about new beginnings. So this is something that's starting new for you, a new person coming into your life, or it is a previous person coming back, and it's a new start for the connection. Either way, I think that this person is viewing this connection in a very positive light. This is somebody who I think always views things in a very positive light. And if this is someone you've known for a while and you haven't always seen them that way, when they come back into your life, you'll notice that they're changed, that their outlook on things is a lot different than what you saw and how you knew them before. So it may be that space that the two of you took away from each other was very needed and necessary for growth to happen, for mindset shifts to take place, because this is definitely somebody who they enjoy life, and I think they bring a lot of enjoyment to your life. They have a lot of fun, and they pursue their passions. They do what makes them happy. This deck is just so vibrant, but I think especially the cards that came out really show that like there's a vibrancy to this person's life. There's an aliveness to this person's life, and I think you know them by that. You know them by their energy. They might be really funny. I get the feeling that it's more just that they're like a light, kind of like in this card. The meaning of this card is not this, but from this imagery, it just feels almost like this is how you see this person in your life. Like they're just pushing back the darkness. Like if these were dark curtains, or it's like just a wall of darkness, they can just push back the darkness and let in this beautiful light. That's kind of the role that they're playing for you. So I think you'll know them by how uplifting they are and how uplifted they make you feel. This is something that definitely has the potential for a long-term future with that Four of Inspirations. But like I said, I get more of that celebration feeling from this than like straight wedding vibes. That card can be like a wedding card. And that, I think either way it means commitment, but I just am really being drawn to the fact that I think the two of you meet in a more social setting. So I'm going to move your cards up just a little bit so that I can get your oracle cards on the table and just see kind of, I want to look into how your relationship is going to be together. So we'll see kind of the dynamic between you now that we've figured out a bit about this person. So we have the Mother, and we have the Oracle's Gift, and Wish Upon a Star. Okay, so let's start with the Mother. So this energy here is really letting me know that your relationship is very nurturing. There might be talks about like starting a family. This is somebody that you can definitely see a future with. Very loving connection. I think that what's really interesting about this, and it just seems to flow with who this person is. So I get the feeling from both of you that you might be you might be a little bit unconventional. There might be something that is not traditional about you or about your connection. Because I think with this Mother card, what I'm really picking up on is that neither one of you allows your relationship to like restrict you. Like a lot of people, they get into a relationship and they kind of cut ties with all of their friends, or they stop pursuing their passions and they become all about the relationship. In your case, this relationship is beautiful and it's fulfilling, but I feel like both of you have your own things going on, and you're not afraid to continue to pursue that and to continue to grow individually. You both have your own interests and passions, and they might overlap in some cases and they might not overlap, but either way, both of you feel free and you feel supported to pursue all of this, to continue growing as an individual, even though you've come into this relationship. So that's really a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful connection. It feels supportive. It feels confident and sure. I think a lot of times people, out of insecurity, are kind of like they will cling to each other and maybe cease to exist outside of the relationship. That isn't the feeling that I get from your connection. It feels very very supportive. So even if your person is into things that you know nothing about, and you may be into things that they know nothing about, the two of you are there for each other, to cheer each other on, to listen to, you know, like the day that you've had and things like that. Even if you can't offer any real practical advice because you don't really connect to what they're doing, it might be that the two of you are in very different fields of work and you cannot offer them any advice on a problem they're having at work because you don't really understand it, and the same is true vice versa, but you're there to listen to each other and you're there to support each other. That kind of independent quality that was coming through for them, I feel like the two of you may mirror each other in that respect, because you're just not, like, you don't allow the relationship to completely define you. I think it's a huge part of your life, but there's so much more to you and there's so much that you want to pursue. So definitely that Two of Materials, that Two of Pentacles energy plays into your relationship, because I think the two of you are always figuring out how to balance, because there's a lot that you want to do, there's a lot you want to pursue, and you also want to put in a lot of work and effort into your relationship. So you're both kind of doing that balancing act. This feels like a very mature relationship. It feels like both of you are very sure about how you feel about each other, and that you feel very secure in knowing that this person is going to come home to you, even if they went out to pursue their other interests, their other passions, their hobbies, their work. This might be somebody who travels a lot for work, or you might travel a lot for work, or maybe the two of you are at a distance, and that's what I'm picking up on. But it's like you know that you're committed to each other, even though there might be a distance between you, or there might be a difference in interests or in career. So you're definitely nurturing each other's creativity all the time, and you're very supportive even if you don't fully understand it. With the Oracle's gift here, I think this really just speaks to like the future that you see together. You really do see moving forward together, even if you aren't I'm just picking up on that you two are very similar and very different. So I think the areas that you overlap on, and the things that you see eye to eye on, and the interests that you share, you nurture that and you lean into that, but then neither one of you are afraid to go off and pursue your own thing. So I think both of you can see a future there, because it feels really natural, and it feels like it's a nice balance, and it feels like you can still be yourself in this relationship and they can still be themselves, and like you can be really whole individuals and then come together and create something really beautiful. I am also seeing with this Oracle's gift that you're going to recognize this person immediately. I think as soon as you see them, you're going to recognize them. So there's going to be a sense that maybe you know them, like that you've met them before. This could be like past life connection. This could be like we were talking about before, a previous relationship. But there's this feeling of this person's going to seem really familiar to you, because this this card really talks about like a clarity in sight. So that's like you're seeing a clear future together. You're also really clear about what you see in this person. Like as soon as you see them, there will be this sense of recognition, even if you've never met them before. I'm also drawn to like this this teacup here. So when I think of tea, I think of like comfort, I think of warmth, I think of being soothed. So I think you will immediately feel like a comforted, nourished, and soothing feeling from this person, and that the two of you will really make each other feel nurtured, especially with this mother energy too. This is a very nurturing energy. It's also an energy that knows when to let go. So I just think that's like a big theme in your relationship. You can come together and you can nurture and be very loving toward each other, but both of you know when to let go and when to let the other one fly and pursue their own passions and their own desires, and when to cheer them on, and you know, it just feels really nice, and like there's a balance to it, and like there's a mutual respect there. Then with the Wish Upon a Star, we have really a feeling of a conscious commitment here, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's like both of you are committing to this connection, even if there's something unconventional about it, because there is a feeling of something being unconventional. This might be the kind of connection where other people in your lives are like saying, well, that's weird, that's not how we do it, or like maybe you two are living at a distance from each other and the people around you can't figure out how you could make that work, and you two can make it work. Or maybe you move around a lot together. Like maybe you don't put down firm roots, and other people would say, oh, you should buy a house, you should settle down. But I feel like there's a confidence to this connection where both of you are willing to say, no, this is what we want to do, and this is what works for us. So it really can be anything, but there is something unconventional about your relationship. It might be that the two of you start a family in an unconventional way. Maybe you adopt children or go some other route, but there's something that you do and explore together that is different than the typical relationship. But you both get it, and like that's all that matters. Other people around you might not get it, but you both get it. And I think this is about really building dreams. I think both of you are very visionary in this way. You can see the plan, you can see the outcome, you can see the dream, even if it looks different than what people would typically expect. I think that for some of you, you may even work together, which could be kind of an element of that unconventional relationship, because a lot of times spouses don't work together or can't make that work. So it could be a matter of people telling you like, you shouldn't work with your spouse or with your partner because that's too hard. Like it'll bring conflict into your relationship, but somehow it works for you. So I do think if the two of you work together, let's say you start a business, I think how you make it work is that you have very different roles to play in the business. It might be that one person is the visionary, one person handles the finances, and they're like the numbers person, or they're all about spreadsheets or something. I think you both really stay in your lanes and you honor your differences, and you really thrive in those areas where you line up. But the most important thing that I'm seeing here is that you do what works for you. Your relationship just feels like nobody else needs to understand it except you. And there's just such a confidence to it. If the two of you aren't coming to this with that confident attitude, then you definitely develop it and cultivate it together, because there's just this feeling of like being so sure of the strength of your relationship, just being so convicted in that really no outside voices have much weight, because the two of you make a plan together and that's what you stick to, even if it seems unconventional to other people. So I think you guys really get each other in that way. I'm going to pull a couple more oracle cards for you. We'll see if we can get any information about timing or just more information about your connection. So we have clearing and the moon. Okay, this is so, like, it's funny because that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like there is kind of like this clearing energy. Like, it feels like this relationship is an injection of new energy. Like, if the two of you are coming from relationships where you always had to worry about what your partner was doing, about if they were committed or not, this relationship doesn't feel like that. It feels like there's so much certainty here, and it really does kind of like clear away all the old and make space for this new kind of situation where I think the two of you can really, really thrive. That's why I get the feeling that, like, when you remove all of the BS of having to worry about if somebody's actually being serious, if they can maintain a positive outlook, if they can accept you for all that you are, if you remove all of that worry and that concern, you're left with something that feels, it feels easy, and it feels like the energy kind of flows, and it feels like the negativity has been sucked out of the situation. I think that's what this connection is going to feel like for you. Like negativity is just sucked out. This moon energy, again, I'm getting kind of a different interpretation for this card right off. I'm drawn back to that Four of Inspiration energy and that idea of the two of you maybe meeting in a social situation. So I feel like this might be an event that takes place at night for some of you. Very odd interpretation, but it's coming. It's coming to me that way. Also, there's these four like little drops coming from the moon, so that again pulls my attention back to the Four of Inspiration, but it also is showing me a stability to this. It's showing me emotions, and it's showing me a stability. So I think that, like, this, it feels so solid. And I think that's what it feels like for both of you. It just feels solid. It feels like you're really sure about it. It feels like you don't have to wonder about it. It feels like if you don't know where this person is every second of the day, it won't bother you, because there's a certain trust and stability between the two of you, and a mutual respect. With the moon too, it can talk about, again, just a lot of emotion. So I think there is like an emotional connection here. It doesn't really seem like the two of you lead heavily with emotion. Like, I think that that's how this relationship works, because neither one of you, like, you're not coming to it from a place of being overly emotional or being like having your emotional, it feels like a lot of emotional stability is what I'm trying to say, like a lot of emotional maturity. And whether or not you feel like you're in that place right now, I think this relationship brings that kind of essence to it, because you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to feel like you're protecting your heart all the time when you're with this person, because they're not giving you any reason to doubt them. There is no reason to doubt them. It's like they're fine on their own, yet they clear this space for you. And I think you really feel like a place has been made for you in their lives, and like they're interested in keeping it that way. So it just feels like there's a lot of like emotional balance and just emotional stability here in this relationship. So I think that's all I'm seeing for you, group 3. I really loved doing this reading. This is a very different energy than came through in the other readings. So I think you'll know if this is your connection, because I think there would have to be a part of you that kind of wants to do things a bit of a different way in a relationship, and that wants to take away all of the nonsense. Like, that is just so tired of all of the nonsense, and you want somebody where it can just be easy and where you can be free to be yourself. And that is what this relationship is. So I hope some of that resonated for you. I'm sending you a lot of love and light. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in your next reading. Bye.